Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. These are two of the most popular stability shoes in the New Balance range. However, they've got completely different ways that they provide stability, different volumes of stability, and they perform in different ways underfoot, whether you're using it as a lifestyle shoe or for running. I'll break down each of these features so you get a better idea of what works best for you. If we look at the top of the shoes first, we've got a much broader forefoot in the 860 V14, so much wider on top, a little bit snug in the Vongo V6, so it just wraps around your foot a little bit more tight than what we get in the 860, so you might need to get a wider shoe. Otherwise, it's true to size in both shoes in terms of the length. Both shoes have a padded gusseted tongue. There's a little bit more padding around the upper aspect of the heel cup on the Vongo V6, and it's got a moderately stiff heel counter while it's a bit stiffer in the 860. Now the heel counters help wrap around the heel, help to control pronation moments when you initiate contact with the ground. And then as we move underneath the shoe, they both have the Fresh Foam X cushioning, but they provide stability in slightly different ways. So first of all, if we look at the 860, on the inside we've got this denser green cushioning underneath the shoe, and then we've got this white softer cushioning that sits on top of it. Now it's split in the middle by an EVA film, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then as you see on the outside of the shoe, we've got significantly less green cushioning and significantly more white cushioning. Now what that means is it creates a really big tilt on your foot when it sits inside the shoe, so it shifts your weight towards the outside of your foot. Now this can be really helpful if you've got conditions around the arch of your foot or around posterior tibial tendonitis. However, if you've got a history of issues with ankle instability, rolling your ankle, or perineal issues, you may not enjoy this. It's still present on the Vongo V6, but it's not as prominent, so you still have some of this green denser foam on the inside and less on the outside, but nowhere near as much as what we get in the 860. As a result, it doesn't tilt your foot out as much. It's more of a mild form of wedge and a milder form of stability. It's got a little bit more sole flare in the forefoot, so that's where the sole comes out wider than where your foot sits in the shoe. That helps to keep your foot centered in the forefoot when you go to push off, and it really increases the amount of contact that you have with the ground. So we have some of that in the 860, but it's just not as prominent as what we get in the V6. Then in terms of performance, we have a much more stack in the 860 V14 with 38 mils in the rear foot, 30 in the forefoot, giving you an 8 mil drop. Therefore, it's a bit softer on the foot. You sink into it a little bit more. When you're walking around, it feels a bit more cloud-like, so you're walking on a nice cushion padded sole. As a result, when you try to run in it, it doesn't transition very quickly through from the back to the front of the shoe, so it's better for easy runs, longer runs if you're looking for a max stability shoe. And it comes in around 298 grams for a size 9 men's US. So even though we've got a milder stability shoe in the V6, it comes in around 309 grams, so it's a little bit heavier. It has a different stack as well, so we've got 35.5 in the rear foot, 29.5 in the forefoot, giving you a 6 mil drop. So 6 mil in the V6 versus 8 mil in the 860. As a result of not having as much cushioning underfoot, you don't sink into it as much. It's a little bit firmer, but still on the soft side of things. So you sink into it a little bit, it has a little bit more energy return to push you out there. But because of the weight, again, it's not great for more race pace or more faster workouts. Great shoe as a cruiser or for those easy recovery runs. Again, a fantastic lifestyle shoe if you want to use it for standing all day or for walking for long periods of time. So in summary, we've got a max stability shoe with a really big medial wedge that we don't see on any other shoes in the market in the 860 V14. We've got a milder version of that in the V6. It's a little bit tighter up top in the V6, where it's a little bit broader in the 860. They're both true to size and length, and they're both excellent lifestyle shoes as well as performance shoes. You can check the latest prices of the shoes in the description. If you've got any questions on them, please drop them in the comment section below. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. We've got loads of comparisons of different types of stability shoes in our catalogue if you want to check them out.